Morning peeps, good morning everyone. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, like, share, subscribe. Alright, there's only one place to start. There's only one person to talk about, and that's Boots Ennis destroying, dismantling, beating the brakes of Stanionis. That was a very, very good performance. I've seen Eddie Hearn in a few post-fight interviews call it a masterclass, and it's difficult to disagree with that because he looked exceptional. And let's not forget the noise going into that fight as well. Stanionis was a live dog. I hate when people sort of revisit things and all of a sudden, because of someone's performance, like to maybe say that wasn't the narrative going in. The narrative going in was this was number one, versus number two. And it wasn't a clear number one either. I mean, I think everyone has Boots as number one, but everyone really thought Stanionis had a good chance here. Boots hadn't looked good in his last couple of fights. In fact, he looked bad in his last couple of fights. There were these photos doing the rounds of Boots with his belt, and he looked really gaunt and drained. And everyone was like, okay, maybe 147 just ain't it for him. He needs to make that jump to 154. Stanionis is going to put pressure on him and really test that weight cut. And none of that happened. None of that happened. He looked fantastic on the scales. We'll get to that. He looked so much bigger and stronger than Stanionis, so much faster, so much quicker to the punch. He clearly hits harder. His knockout records say so. And that was as good as it gets, you know. I mean, we seek perfection from these fighters, and ultimately, perfection doesn't really exist. Every fighter is going to make a mistake, especially when they're in there against high-level fighters. And Stanionis is a high-level fighter, so there were some mistakes. But mistakes are because Stanionis is making him make mistakes, right? Boots is good at everything, you know. And I don't want to be one of those guys that get overly excited and say, I think Eddie said he's now pound for pound top 10. I don't know if he's that yet, but he's on course. He's on course because he's not getting beat at 147. I mean, if he is going to come unstuck, it's at 154 where it's fucking shark-infested waters. And 160, where there are very good guys as well. I mean, fucking Alan Canali's there, dude. Carlos Adames is there, you know. So there are some good fighters there. But at 147, I mean, I've seen enough of Barrios to know Barrios doesn't have a prayer. Doesn't have a prayer. Brian Norman's sort of got good hand speed, good punch power. But again, I don't see what he does better than Ennis. Ennis switches well. There were times in that fight where Stanionis, I think it might have been round 2, Stanionis actually landed a couple of good shots and Ennis ate them and landed his own, and Stanionis did not want to know, on the back foot immediately. And if you are Stanionis and you've landed a good shot early, you're probably thinking, fuck me, this is going to be a hard 12 rounds, a very hard 12 rounds. Ennis is doing what I thought Stanionis would do, which is go to the body. Ennis is digging those body shots, like really. I mean, he fucking turns and talks everything into it. Very reminiscent of when Callum Smith was fighting Boatsy, and Callum Smith really turns his whole body into those body shots. His jab isn't a jab, it's a power shot, and he goes upstairs and downstairs with it as well. I love the way he pivots off his back foot. Honestly, he looked really, really good. One thing that clearly did help him, that I think a lot of people are talking about, but for those that don't know, let me just quickly explain. That IBF rehydration cap thing isn't a thing when it's a unification fight. And you could see the difference. Like, it was ceremonial weigh-ins. Do you guys know this? I'm sure you do. But when you see them weighed in, they'd already officially weighed in, I'm going to say about 7 or 8 hours earlier. So this was just a weigh-in for the cameras. And in that 7 or 8 hour window, Boots looked like he had put on, I'm going to say about 12 to 15 pounds. And for those of you that, it's not possible, it's possible. I did it. I did a weight cut, and 12 hours later, I'd put on about 10 to 12 pounds. And I'm not a professional, so it can be done pretty easily. Boots looked enormous. Stanionis didn't look like he put on shit. I mean, a bit, but he still looked small. And I was thinking, look, boxing ultimately isn't always just about size. But when the guy you're fighting is as skilled, if not more skilled, faster, hits harder, but is also way bigger, good luck. Good luck. I'd love to know. I remember back in the day, HBO always used to tell us what the fighters weighed in the ring. They used to, I don't know, they used to have maybe scales in the gym, so you'd know, scales in the dressing room, so you'd know exactly what the fighters weighed in the ring. Because I'm telling you now, Boots was a light heavyweight in that ring. Boots was a light heavyweight, Stanionis was a middleweight. That's the difference. So again, not only is Boots faster, more experienced as a pro, hits harder, etc., etc., all those boxes ticked, he's fucking outweighing Stanionis by about 14 to 15 pounds. I'll say Stanionis walks into that ring around 160. I'll say Boots top nearly 170, 175. That's how big he was. But regardless of that, he looked good. Again, there was a lot of pressure on his back. There was a lot of pressure. I mean, he had to perform, and Eddie would have been nervous. I mean, this is Eddie's, I guess, big signing, right? Real big signing. Eddie put a lot into the Boots stock, if you like. And Eddie must have thought after his last couple of fights, like, fuck, what are you going to do? I mean, maybe this guy isn't what we thought he was. Eddie will be going home now thinking, okay, now is when we start to eat. Now we start to make big fights. Maybe there was a bit of a smart sort of ideas around moving him away from Philly and putting him in Atlantic City. Maybe the pressure of fighting at home was a thing. But now it's a case of, okay, now we start to eat. So there probably isn't a boxer right now that has many options, good options, as Boots does. Like, Boots has so many options. I mean, do you unify? Do you wait for Barrios to fight Brian Norman and then unify that way and become undisputed? Do you stay at 147 and see Teofimo Lopez, Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney maybe, although he's way too good and big for all of those guys, but these guys are 147 fighters now. Do you do that? Do you go to 154 and fight Virgil Ortiz? Remember, it was supposed to be him versus Virgil, and whatever happened, happened. Do you do that? Do you just jump to 154 and fight someone? Like, there are options all over the place. Honestly, there are at least 6 or 7 massive options for him. So yeah, he's in a very, very good space right now, a very good place. The corner were right to pull out Stanionis. That was only ending one way. I mean, as I said at the top, he was getting the brakes beaten out of him, like just getting destroyed in every single department. But yeah, Stanionis looked okay. Stanionis looked okay. I've said this for a long time. I think the 147 division is the weakest I've ever seen it. Like, ever. Honestly, it's so poor. And that's why it's easy for Boots to separate himself, because there is no one. There's no one at world level. And even at world level, the gaps at world level are apparent. Stanionis is a world level fighter, but yet it shows there's levels within world level. There is no one there. I mean, you go back 10 years, and obviously Spence is there. Kell Brook is there. I'm trying to think. Keith Thurman is there. Danny Garcia is there. Sean Porter is there. Is Terence Crawford a 147 fighter 10 years ago? But Crawford's creeping around there. I mean, that's already 6 or 7. Amir Khan is there. I mean, these are all very, very good fighters. Manny Pacquiao is there. Like, and then you go back another 5 years before that, and it's Miguel Cotto, it's Floyd Mayweather, it's Timothy Bradley, it's Zab Judah. There's names all over the place. And then there's guys coming up from 140 that you don't want to fuck with, like Lucas Matisse and Ruslan Provodnikov. Ain't that anymore. Simply ain't that. But yeah, look, congratulations to Boots. Again, the pressure was as big as it's ever been, and he delivered, and that's all he can do. All right, let's have a quick look and see. Congratulations as well to Raymond Ford. Big fan of Raymond Ford. I've spoken to Raymond Ford a few times. That was a very comfortable win over Thomas Matisse. Now Ray Ford, surely it's a world title fight next. So many people think he's a world champion already because he holds that belt, but he's not an official world champion. There are world champions out there in that division. But let's see what he can do, man. He wants a Shaki Foster. It's a good fight. Let's make it. Let's do it. Shakur Stevenson, fine. Williams are paid in next. Open to unification with Gervonta Davis. Boring. Not the first line. The first line's good. Zepeda versus Shakur Stevenson. Get it on, right? Don't for a second, and this is, I'm talking to myself here, think that Zepeda is easy work for Shakur just because of how we saw Farmer fight him. Styles make fights. And yes, Shakur's style is similar to Farmer, but Zepeda will go up another level, I think. Shakur will beat him, I think, but it ain't easy work. With regards to Gervonta Davis talk, we just not bored of this now? Are we not bored of this? Like, you know when you can't even see a fight happening? Like, before, I felt like, okay, it could happen because of Riyadh season and Turkey's investment. I don't even think Turkey will make that fight happen. I just don't think that fight's happening. That's a disgrace. And that's all on Gervonta. Not enough people put pressure on Gervonta. It's mad. It's quite mad. All right. Anything else? Eddie Hearn expects Brian Norman Jr. to step up to face Jaron Ennis. That's a big step up. I mean, he didn't want it before, and that's when Jaron Ennis didn't look great. I mean, he would have been watching that. But look, it all comes down to pounds and pence or dollars and cents. And if enough dollars is thrown Brian Norman's way, I think him and his dad, and I think that was probably the pushback last time, his dad, I think him and his dad would accept the fight. But yeah, we'll end on this. I saw a Hamza Shiraz interview. I'm speaking to Hamza tomorrow on the Ariel and Ade show. It's actually just the Ade show because Ariel's not with me. So I'm going to be doing this by myself. Hamza's coming on, but I did see that Hamza is teamed up with Andy Lee, which is interesting. That Andy Lee stables now, I mean, in terms of big names, Ben Whittaker, Joseph Parker, Paddy Donovan, and now Hamza Shiraz. And I think there's a few more as well that I'm missing out. But I will say this about Andy Lee. If you've ever, and I've been lucky enough to have spent, I mean, me and Andy had a Guinness after, I think it was a Katie Taylor card. He's the nicest man I've ever met in boxing. Like, hands down. Like, I was actually thinking of this, actually. It's Andy Lee and it's Darren Barker. Those two, 1 and 2. It's difficult to split them. But Andy Lee is just so nice. So nice. So forget the fact he's a great trainer. I think we've seen that with how Paddy Donovan and Joseph Parker have performed recently. Just as a person. So if you've gone to him and you're like, Andy, can we have a conversation about you potentially becoming my trainer? He will make you, like, he will convince you in 5 seconds because he's just so nice, honestly. So yeah, congratulations to him and all the success he's having right now. It's a shame because I think he's really good on the DAZN broadcast team as well, but obviously that means that's done because he's just so busy. All those fighters are going to want attention from them. All those fighters are kind of busy fighters. They fight quite a lot, so he's going to be super busy. But I'd love to go to one of the camps and see all of them in the gym at the same time. I think that would be fantastic. But yeah, well done to Andy Lee and good luck to Hamza. Good luck to Ben Whittaker as well. It's by default, anyone associated with Andy, I like and support. Just because I'm a huge Andy Lee fan. All right, peace.